Hi guys, today in this video I'll be talking about how to avoid visa refusals, especially when you're applying for to travel to the UK for holiday. From my experience as an immigration lawyer over time, I know that visa decisions are made based on the information you give on your application form and also the supporting documents that you provide. With these two information, the visa officer will now look at everything put together, the information on the application form and also the information that you submitted as your supporting document, and then use that to make a decision whether to grant the visa or not to grant the visa. So when you're completing your application form, your visa application form, it's always very, very important that you pay 100% attention and make sure that you give out the right information and not give the wrong information. And also you have to be sure that whatever information that you're giving out in your application form, you have supporting documents that you will use to support those information so that it will corroborate the information that you've given on your application form. Now, looking at the visa application form from my experience, one of the areas that I find people giving out wrong information is very simple question: what's your intention? What's your purpose of going to the UK? This sounds like a very simple question because for anyone that is planning to travel to the UK, you believe that you have a reason why you want to go. You want to go on holiday, you want to go and see London, you want to go and see Manchester, you want to go and see Liverpool. However, when it comes to the answer that you give to the question that is being asked, many a times people don't give clear answers on what they want to go and do it in the UK. The intention is, what do you intend to do when you get to the UK? If you plan to go on holiday for 1 week, 2 weeks, within that 1 week period or 2 weeks period, there should be specific things that you intend to achieve or intend to do while you're in the UK. And it's an area that we'll be talking about today. Now, the best way to answer that question is try as much as possible to do your research and know what exactly that you want to go and do in the UK. If, for example, you intend to stay in London and you want to go and watch a football match in London, be specific. Put it down: I intend to go and see a game between Arsenal and Chelsea on the 15th of February 2025. The thing with this is that it's possible for the visa officer to go and carry out their research to find out whether there is really an Arsenal-Chelsea game going on that 15th of February. Many a times people assume that some of these things are information that cannot be verified, but they are easily verifiable, because once they go on the website of Premier League or go to Arsenal website or Chelsea website, to tell them specifically the games they have and the days they have those games. So make sure that your intention of going to the UK is genuine and that you're clear on what you want to do, the date you want to go. And in order to help you to convince the visa officer more, you can as well get a ticket for that game and include that ticket or receipt of that ticket as your supporting document. Because when they see that, they will know that really and truly there's an intention to go and watch this game, which was why you've gone ahead to get a ticket for that game. Unfortunately, it's possible that you might not get a refund if the visa is not granted, but most times what you're trying to do here is to convince the visa officer that your intention of coming to the UK is genuine. So that will help to show that genuineness of your trip to the UK. Another thing that people can also do is, you want to go and see Buckingham Palace, you intend to go and see London Eye, Madame Tussauds, but you don't have any ticket for it. Go ahead, get a ticket, research, check on the internet, how do I go to Buckingham Palace, find out the requirements, how to get the ticket, get that ticket, include it as your supporting document. In that way, it shows that you have a genuine intention and genuine reason to go to the UK. It helps. I've seen a lot of visas being refused because the visa officer is not very convinced with the reason or the purpose of traveling to the UK, which has been inputted in the form. If you don't have an opportunity to state all these things, when it gets to the extra information on the form, use that opportunity, use that field to add there your intention of going to the UK. That will help you. Now, the second reason is where you find people stating the time frame. The question is, when do you intend to get into the UK, and when do you plan to leave the UK? Now, it might sound like a very stupid question to ask in the application form, but it's not. It's a trap, more like. Why do I call it a trap? I've seen cases where people have put down that they intend to go to the UK, for example, on the 1st of January 2025, and they will leave the UK on the 15th of August 2025. You're already setting yourself up for failure. Reason being that you are now telling the visa officer that you intend to spend more than 6 months in the UK. As a visitor in the UK, you're only allowed to spend 6 months. You cannot spend more than 6 months at every point in time that you come into the UK. You might have 2-year visa, 5-year visa, but that doesn't mean that you're allowed to spend 5 years in the UK at the same time, or 2 years in the UK at the same time. What that means is that you can come in, spend 3 months, 1 month, not more than 6 months, leave, then come back again. That means you can come back as many times as you want within that 2-year period or 5 years period. It doesn't mean that you can spend 2 years in the UK at once, or 5 years. This is another area where people make a lot of mistakes. I've seen people put down dates. By the time you calculate the date, you find out that the period of time they're planning to spend in the UK is like 6 months, or more than 6 months, or 7-8 months. That's one of the key reasons that why the application can be refused. Another thing is, many a times you find people that say, oh, I work in Nigeria, I'm employed, I work in XYZ company in Nigeria, or I work in government organization, and you intend to spend 6 months on holiday in the UK. That would not be, that would be an issue, because it will not be believed. Because the reason is because if you're an employee of any place, there's no way you can have 6 months annual leave. You cannot have 6 months annual leave. The best you can have is 1 month, 2 months. Once you start saying 6 months annual leave, it's obvious that your intention of coming to the UK is not for holiday, that you're planning to relocate to the UK, and that's one of the reasons why your application will be refused. So you have to be very, very, very sure of your time. Know that you can't spend more than 6 months as a visitor in the UK, and if you're working in Nigeria, it will be more believable if you say that, oh, you intend to spend 1 month in the UK, or at most 2 months on annual leave in the UK, unless you're planning to come and study in the UK, which will now mean that you're coming on a work sponsored leave, which means you can spend period of time. That will now require you to go and get a student visa, no more a visiting visa. So I'm talking today about visiting visa, which is very specific on the requirements. Now we'll talk about another area, which is your income and your expenditure. Many a times the question is, how much do you earn? How much do you spend? How much do you intend to spend while in the UK? This is very, very important that you get it right. If you say you earn 1 million naira every month on the application form, and every month you spend 500,000 naira on expenses, and now you intend to go to the UK and you intend to spend £4,000 in the UK. From calculation, it's already showing that your expenses, the amount of money that you intend to spend in the UK, is way more than what you earn. So if you said in your application form that you intend to spend like £4,000 while in the UK, which covers your flight, covers your accommodation in the UK, covers the cost for feeding while you're in the UK, and also local transportation, shopping, and all those small expenses. What they will do is to check what £4,000, the equivalent of £4,000 in naira, and the rates they use, they don't use the CBN rate, they don't use the black market rate, which is the parallel market. What they use the Rwanda rate. The Rwanda rate, depends on what it is on the day that your application is being assessed, and roughly that £4,000 might be around 7 million naira, based on using the Rwanda rate as at today, 7 million naira. Meanwhile, you earn 1 million naira every month. You spend 500,000 on expenses every month. So the question will be, where will you be getting that 7 million naira from? That's the question that the visa officer will be asking. He will not ask you that question because you're not sitting in front of him or her, but they will now imagine in their head that if this person is claiming that they earn this amount of money and they spend this amount of money every month, how come they want to spend 7 million naira on holiday, just holiday? That already casts a doubt on your application. So be mindful of what you earn and how much you intend to spend while in the UK for the holiday. Always make sure that the amount of money that you're looking to spend is commensurate with the time scale that you intend to spend in the UK, and also that your what you earn every month shows that you can cover that expenses comfortably. You cannot be earning very low and intending to spend that kind of money on holiday. It will not work. They will not grant you a visa. And you have to support whatever you claim that you earn with a pay slip. That's if you're working, with a pay slip, and also your bank statement. And whatever you have on your pay slip should be what should reflect on your bank statement as your the salary that you're earning. So if, for example, you put down on your pay slip that you earn 1 million naira every month, on your bank statement they intend to see that 1 million naira as well, reflecting as salary. And sometimes they will check the narration to make sure that the narration says January salary, January 2025 salary, 1 million naira. And they will look at your bank statement to see how your expenses are. If you say you spend 500,000 every month, and they end up finding out that from your expenses on the bank statement that you spend way more than what you claim that you're spending, is already casting doubt. So they analyze some of these things very well, that they pick out one or two information that you've given to them which doesn't really show consistency or show genuineness for the claim that you're trying to make. Another key area as well is when people submit corporate bank statement instead of their personal bank statement. I've seen situations where you see people saying, I submitted my bank statement for my company and we had 10 billion naira. I don't see why they will say I don't have sufficient funds to travel to the UK. You need to realize that corporate account is different from personal accounts. The understanding of the visa officer is that the company account, which is the corporate account, is the money used for running the business. It's not your personal money. Even if you're the CEO of the company is on its own. It's not you. If you need to take any funds, the company will have to approve that you will have those funds, and you have to back it up with a board resolution from your company, and there has to be clarity on why that money is being given to you. So if you intend to submit your corporate account, also make sure that you submit your personal account. The reason is because the personal account is what they will assess, that will show them what your financial situation is. Your corporate account shows what the financial situation in your company is, not your personal account. So always make sure that you submit your personal account. Even if you will submit your corporate account to your company's account and you're claiming that your company will be sponsoring your trip, you need to back it up with a board resolution from the company which specifically states that the company will be paying XYZ amount for your trip, whether £5,000 or 2,000, whatever the company has agreed to pay. They need to back it up with a board resolution, and also it will reflect on your company bank account that that money is available there, that the company has that kind of money to spend on you. So income and expenditure is a very key area. If you don't know how to explain what your income and expenditure is, you're already having issues, because the idea you're trying to pass there is that you're not sure how much you're earning, or you're not sure how much you're going to be spending. So where would that money that you'll be going to the UK with will come from? Where will it come from? So that's an area that we need to be very, very clear on. Now, another area that I see people make a lot of mistakes is when it comes to convictions and penalties. Especially people that have had opportunities of living in other parts of the world. You lived in America before, or you lived in Canada before, or you've lived in the UK before. I've had cases of people that have gone to the UK before to study, people that did their A-levels in the UK, did university in the UK, moved back to Nigeria while they were in the UK doing their A-level or doing the university program. They had issues. Some of them are very minor issues like driving offenses, driving without insurance, overspeeding, things like all those kind of minor driving offenses. But the thing is that those offenses and penalties you need to state them, because if you don't and they find out, they will assume that your intention was to hide that you never had that issue. I had a case of a young man while he was doing his A-level in the UK. He had issues. I think he went on a train without paying, and he was given a fine. He was charged to court for that offense, and he was given a fine, and he paid the fine. But when he later moved back to Nigeria, and later on, after some years, he wanted to move back to the UK or go to the UK on a visit visa. And in that place, he stated no, that he never had any convictions or any penalties at all. And the visa officers obviously did their checks, and they found out that he one time had an issue which required him to go to court, and he pleaded guilty, and he was given a fine. And just because of that, they refused him that visa. And not only refusing him that visa, they banned him for 10 years. Reason being that they assumed that he was trying to be deceptive, that he was trying to deceive the visa officer by lying that he never had such an issue. So absolute disclosure is very, very, very important. If there's any reason for you to disclose any information, make sure you disclose it. Don't assume that they will not find out, because if they find out that you were trying to hide that information, or you're trying to cover up, it might lead to a ban, and that ban is 10 years, and you must wait for that 10-year period to elapse before you can apply again. And the danger is that once you start having all those bans, it prevents you from future visa success, because you're already blacklisted kind of, or earmarked as someone that is not honest. So always make sure that any information that you'll be giving out there, or any information that you're meant to give out, that you give out the right information. Have you ever been refused visa before? Many times you find people saying, oh, I've never been refused visa. Meanwhile, they applied for Canada visa and they were refused, or applied for US visa and they were refused. There's no reason for them not to find out. It's very easy, very, very easy for them to find out, because all these embassies, they are interconnected. They have relationships with each other. So it's easy for them to check with Canada High Commission, has this person been denied visa before, or check with US Embassy. It's very, very easy for them to do that. So my advice is, if you're not sure how to answer those questions, seek professional advice, instead of you putting down an answer that tomorrow you will not be able to defend it. Many a times you find people saying, oh, I wasn't the one that put that information, it was the agent that I used. As long as you're the one that submitted that application, you're the one that put in your information, paid for everything, it doesn't matter whether it's an agent that did it for you, because the assumption is that you were the one that instructed the agent that did it for you. And many a times, some of these agents are not really well versed with the immigration issues. They're just people that fill out application forms. If it goes through, it goes through. If it doesn't go through, well, they've taken their money and they've moved on to the next person. So click on this subscribe button, subscribe to this video, like and share, and we'll be providing you with information regarding visas, regarding investments, regarding real estate, all encompassing. Thank you for watching us today, and we hope to see you again in our next video, in our next episode. Thank you. Kenny.